Good evening. We're going to start the April 16th, 2024 meeting. We'll have to call to order. Invocation will be by Mr. Hart, Pledge of Allegiance by myself, then roll call. Please stand.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for your abundant grace and mercy. You allowed us to come together to conduct the city's business. Lord, we pray that you help us to come together in the spirit of unity. Even though we may disagree, let us not be disagreeable and see each other as you see us, as brothers and sisters. We pray a special prayer over our first responders, our police and our fire and our first responders, Lord. Each and every call, each and every shift, watch over them as they watch over us. And remember a special prayer for all of the sons and daughters of Ocoee who are serving in the armed forces at home and abroad. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Here.
Commissioner Wilson?
Here.
Mayor Johnson?
Here.
Commissioner Firstner?
Here.
Commissioner Oliver?
Here.
Okay. We're going to start off with some presentations and proclamations. I'm going to read them. First one will be the National Donate Life Month proclamation. Then I will call up Ms. Kit and then afterwards, okay? All right. Let me get here where I can read it. One of the most meaningful gifts that a human being can bestow upon another is the gift of life. And whereas over 103,000 men, women, and children are currently on the national waiting list for organ transplantation, of which over 5,200 reside in Florida. And whereas 46,630, a record number of transplants, occurred in the calendar year 2023, thanks to the generosity of 23,287 deceased and living donors, of which 3,302 transplant patients and 1,343 deceased and living donors were from Florida. And whereas more than 2.5 million people throughout the country and in Florida benefit annually from tissue transplantation, thanks to thousands of tissue donors, and whereas the need for organ, eye, and tissue donation remains critical as a new patient is added to the national waiting list for an organ transplant every 8 minutes, and each day roughly 17 people die due to the lack of available organs. And whereas more than 11.3 million Floridians have already registered their decision to give the gift of life through organ and tissue donation or own their driver license. And now therefore be it resolved, the City Commission of the City of Ocoee does hereby declare the month of April 2024 as National Donate Life Month in the City of Ocoee, and encourage all residents to consider giving life through organ donation and to sign up on Florida's organ and tissue donor registry or when renewing their driver license or state identification card. This year's theme is Donors or Superstars. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Ocoee, Florida to be affixed the 16th day of April 2024. Rusty Johnson, Mayor. Why don't we go ahead and have, where did I do it? My Miss Blair and Miss Wilson come on up. Judge Wilson, come on up front. Judge Wilson, you also live in Ocoee, right?
I do.
There you go.
I do. I don't think I need a microphone. Can everyone hear me okay? Good evening. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Kia Blair, and I'm the manager of Multicultural Affairs and Partnerships for Our Legacy. Our Legacy is the medical entity that works with every single hospital in Central Florida to facilitate organ and tissue donation. But before we get to all the things that you need to know about organ donation and being a registered donor, I want you to understand why this is so important. Tanya Wilson can share her story, and she is the reason why, and her family is the reason why organ donation is so important. I will turn it over to Tanya Wilson now, who shares her story about her sister, Connie.
Good evening, everyone. September 14th, 2008 changed our family's life forever. Connie was coming home from church. She had a church she attended in Claremont. She was traveling east on Highway 50 in Claremont when she was hit by not one car, but two. Her forerunner flipped over several times, and Connie suffered life-threatening injuries to her head. She was taken by Lifeline to Orlando Medical or Orlando Regional Hospital, and she was on life support. The next day, September 15th, my family made the decision that we would take Connie off life support because the doctors had declared her brain dead. We knew immediately what we were going to do at that time. All five of us, my parents, my sister, myself, and Connie, had decided that should we ever be in that situation where the essence of who we are is no longer there, we believing that God created our bodies are flesh, and they'll be destroyed, but the spirit goes to him. We decided Connie would be, or all of us decided we would be donors. So, on September 15th, 2008, at 11:37 a.m., Connie was taken off life support. And that's when she became a donor hero. So, when the doctors came in, or the medical staff came in to ask us about the donation, we're like, whatever can go to someone who needs the gift of life, let them have it. So Connie was able to donate her heart, both of her lungs, both of her kidneys, and her liver. One of her kidneys, though, went to our first cousin, Dwayne. Dwayne had been on dialysis for as long as I could remember. He was tall, like 6'4", 5", 300 pounds, like offensive lineman style, like what we need at Florida.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, offensive lineman style big, but because of his kidney disease, he was very small, very frail, and he didn't have that big booming voice. So that day, we decided one of Connie's kidney, we're going to see can Dwayne get it. It was a perfect blood match, a perfect tissue match. So off Connie's kidney went, we know, to Dwayne. So our family is a donor family because of Connie. Not just her organs, but her tissue as well. And I didn't find out about the tissue until February of this year. I didn't know my sister was a tissue donor until I met Miss Blair. And I was able to connect with her. I did not realize that the company that we had used for organ donation became our legacy. And so, by the grace of God, I was able to meet Miss Blair, and I was able to see that Connie had saved many lives. And she did save Dwayne's life. Dwayne was able to live an additional 15 years, and unfortunately got COVID and did not make it through COVID. But Dwayne lived an additional 15 years, and he was able to see his children graduate from college, graduate from high school, graduate from their master's program. He was able to see one child go to Toronto, Canada, and open up a TV production studio. And so he was able to live life fully. And so I ask that you strongly consider, if you do not need your organ, you can donate. There is someone who needs the organ. There's someone who might live again with the tissue. Our bodies are not going to stay here forever. Our bodies fail us. But our spirit lives on. And so I would just implore you, just go to the DMV, put on there that you want to be an organ donor, like I did, and so that you too would be able, like my sister Connie, give the gift of life to someone who desperately needs it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
I just just wanted to share some information with you before we go. I shared with you who our legacy is. We are the medical facility that deals with donation. Hospitals don't call other hospitals and say, hey, I have a donor hero here. Do you have a recipient? We take care of all of that for them. Again, more than 103,000 people are waking up this morning and tomorrow morning hoping that they get that life-saving phone call that their organ is available for them. 5,700 of those folks live right here in Florida. 5,700 people on that list. You would think with the need being as great and it's so easy to register that everyone would want to do it. Unfortunately, there are some myths and fears that hold some people back. The number one myth and fear is if I register to be an organ donor and I'm in a car crash, the doctors aren't going to save my life. I see a couple of folks going, I've heard that one. That is simply not true. The same doctors that are working so tirelessly to save your life in that traumatic experience are not the same doctors we work with regarding organ donation. Those doctors make sure to save you first before they even consider organ donation. And side note, none of the nurses and doctors that we work with even have time to look in your wallet or your purse to see if you're a registered donor. Most times they don't even know it until we let them know. So never think that the hospital won't do everything it can to save your life. There is no additional expense to our donor families for any type of procedures, hospital stays related to donation. That expense is not passed on to the donor family. The body will not be disfigured. We take great care in making sure that we suture up all of our donor heroes so they are presentable. And we have probably all been to at least one open casket funeral where that person could have been a donor hero, and you never would know. Cultural mistrust of the medical system. There has been a lot of mistrust of the medical system, especially during COVID and even preceding COVID. That brings that fear that, oh, the doctors are not going to do everything they can to save my life. Unfair organ allocation. No, the hospitals don't get a kickback for organ donation. No, the richest person with the bag of money is not waiting out back, waiting for that life-saving heart. We are heavily regulated by CMS and receive information from the United Network of Organ Sharing of who gets what organ whenever we have a case. We have to start with the first recipient, call them to see if their transplant surgeon wants that organ. If they don't, we go to number 2 and 3 and 4 and so forth. We don't get to skip around and choose who gets that organ. And then simply understanding death. As Tanya mentioned, Connie was determined to be brain dead. Either you are brain dead or your family decides to withdraw life support. Those are the only 2 ways you can ever be considered to be an organ donor, not before then. So only at the very end of your life. Every 10 minutes, another person is added to the national transplant waiting list. Each and every day, on average, about 20 people die, but thankfully, one donor hero can save 8 lives. So how do you register? At the DMV when you get your driver's license. You can also go to donatelifeflorida.org and register online. And you can be very specific. You can say, hey, I want to give my heart, but you can't have anything else. And that is fine. You can also, if you have an iPhone, register on the health app to be an organ donor. I hope that I was able to provide some information to you and inspire you to join our mission and help save so many other lives. Are there any other questions?
Alan, my 5-year-old niece died waiting for a heart transplant. It is one of the best gifts that you can make, so please consider it.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Yes,
Can we
sir.
have you come up, and Ms. Wilson come up front and let's
Absolutely.
have a picture?
Yes, sir.
Come
Thank
down.
you, Mayor Johnson. Thank you, City of Ocoee, and thank you all for listening to us. April is National Donate Life Month, and all of this is so important every part of the year, but especially during April, so thank you.
Come up front.
Yes, sir.
All right, we have one more proclamation, and this is one with it's the volunteer appreciation. Whereas the week of April the 21st through the 27th, 2024 has been designated nationally as Volunteer Appreciation Week to recognize the hard work, dedication, and passion of volunteers and service members throughout our community. And whereas this week is an opportunity to honor the numerous individuals and groups who invest their time to better the community around them. And whereas the City of Ocoee is proud to have 9 volunteer advisory boards which promote and maintain a positive relationship between citizens, the commission, and the city's respective departments. And whereas the city's 58 volunteers contribute their time and diligence to keep these positive connections. And whereas all citizens of the City of Ocoee community benefit from the work of these selfless individuals. And whereas the City of Ocoee holds great appreciation for their continued dedication and hard work. Now therefore, the Commission of the City of Ocoee does hereby proclaim the week of April 21st through the 27th, 2024 as Volunteer Appreciation Week in the City of Ocoee, and encourage all officials and residents to extend appreciation to the many volunteers who serve our community. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Ocoee, Florida to be affixed the 16th day of April, 2024. President Johnson, Mayor. Will all the volunteers that work for the city stand up, please? Wow, look at that. Man. All right, we're gonna have everybody come up front, all the volunteers. Let's go down again. I think we'll stand up behind.
Yeah.
Here, hand that down to, y'all hold that in the middle. Okay? We'll stand up behind here. Come on, Rich.
Okay.
All you guys. Everybody squeeze in.
That's right. That's exactly right, Michelle. See? You look lovely.
Hey, man, see a drummer?
Well, you're gonna have to, I think we're gonna have to move you
Hey,
in a
Brad,
little
the
bit.
short people stand up
I
front.
gotta have you. That's right. Get
Here, go ahead. You got to, Brad, you gotta move in.
Mr. Moyer, I think you're
Slide
too
in there
far
where
over
you can
there.
see you. All right, there you go.
You're too far over there, I think.
There.
You gotta lasso them all in. I like recreation very well attended tonight. Was it?
All right.
Rosemary, good sign, please.
Good, I only give you my good side.
Stand by. Anyone else taking pictures in the crowd?
See if we can get those made and give to them at sometime. I've heard they're gonna also give you a gift somewhere along the line, but not tonight.
Thank you for being here.
All right. Okie dokie.
I want to be 100 sitting next to me.
Billy boy, Billy boy. All right. All right, here. Let's see where we at here. Woo-hoo. All right. Now we get into the business part here. We're going to have a presentation of the auditor's report on fiscal year 2023, ACFR. With the finance director coming up?
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. As required by Florida statutes, the City of Ocoee receives a financial audit every year, seeking an opinion from qualified independent auditors on the quality and presentation of our financial information. For 2023, that audit was conducted by Purvis Gray. Representing Purvis Gray this evening is Tim Westgate and Matt Gano, and they will be presenting the results of our audit for FY23.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to present this evening. As mentioned, we're here to conclude the audit process for the 2023 year. Presented on the slides there, this is your audit leadership team. Again, my name is Tim Westgate, audit partner on the engagement. With us this evening, Matt Gano is the audit director. And then also part of the leadership team, Mr. Michael Sandstrom oversees the IT component related to the financial audit. So we're here to present the audit results and highlights and an opportunity for any questions that you may have. We previously reviewed audit results with management, spoke with Ms. Wilson on the phone as well as one of the commissioners through the audit process. So today we're just going to touch on those results. One thing that I do like to mention for those entities that participate, the City of Ocoee participates in the GFOA, that's the Government Finance Officers Association program. It's the Excellence in Financial Reporting Award, and with that receives a Certificate of Achievement. We're here to present the 2023. First couple of pages has the certificate for 2022, and we expect the 23 will receive that certificate as well. What the program is, it encourages local governments and states to comply with the program, encourage and assist them in completing their annual comprehensive financial report, which goes above and beyond the minimum standards in the spirit of transparency and disclosure. The process is the financial ACFR, as it's referred to, is submitted to the GFOA, and they do a technical review. It also goes out to experts who are not involved in the audit process, other auditors, professionals, educators, to review the financial statements before that award is issued. So we appreciate the city going above and beyond what the Florida statutes and similar requires. The audit, as mentioned, does comply with the requirements of Florida statutes, the rules of the Florida Auditor General, the secondary bond market, as well as lenders and federal and state granting agencies. Management's role in all of this is, of course, the responsibility for the financial statements as well as internal control. Our role as your auditors is based on our audit to ultimately issue an opinion on the financial statements based on our audit, and we're pleased to say that we issued an unmodified opinion. That is a clean opinion, the highest level of assurance that you can have from audit results. As well as part of the audit and being performed under government auditing standards, we look at internal control related to financial reporting. And in that process, if we encountered material weaknesses, significant deficiencies, those would be reported to you in there. Pleased to say they are very boring letters because there are no such findings, which is great in an audit process. No material weaknesses, no non-compliance items with grants and agreements and statutes that would be material to the financial statement. So great results in all of that. We also, under Florida statutes, look at compliance with Florida Statute 218-415. That is a specific carve-out required of local governments and related to investments. That as well is a clean report that the city did comply with those requirements. And the last audit section there is the management letter as required under rules of the Auditor General. So that would be for communication items that are less than material weaknesses, but still things that we feel need to be communicated to those charged with governments, in this case, the commission. Last year, we discussed an item related to the year-end financial reporting and close. Pleased to report this year, you'll see in the letter that that issue has been addressed and there's no findings reported in the management letter this year. So great progress in that regard and nothing more to talk about related to that letter. So that's great. Couple of significant events and highlights. We like to touch on those. We have lots of discussions with management through the financial process and look at particular areas. So just touching on some of those highlights, what might jump out if somebody was to take a quick look? You'll see the change in fund balance for the general fund was a reduction of $8.3 million. However, at the same time, you'll see a capital projects reserve fund went up $13 million. That drive was significant projects that are planned for the city, and those funds were moved from one fund to the other for the planned future projects. So everything that you see there happened in accordance with budget. There weren't surprises that happened in that. So just some of the highlights on that. Proprietary fund, those are your business type funds. One area that we did discuss last year as well and continue to discuss, that solid waste fund. And we'll touch on that in a little bit on the next slide. You'll see that working capital position is in a negative position. Another on this slide to highlight, the employee retirement funds. If you were to look at last year's, had a change in that position. It had a reduction, loss of 21 million. That was, of course, related to the markets and market conditions happening for that 22 year. Very pleased to say, back in a positive position, a 6.9 million increase, which really year over year, that's roughly a $28 million swing from year to year. So, good results in that regard between those plans. Some other discussion items. Again, these are not findings, not material weaknesses, but just opportunities to, keep it on your radar and looking forward. American Rescue Plan funding, American Rescue Act plan funding. As of September 30th, the city still had 13.8 million recorded as unearned revenues. So just a reminder to keep tabs on that. The programs need to be obligated by the end of the 24 year calendar year, and the funds need to be spent by the end of the 26 year. Again, not a finding, just a, discussion item to keep a tab on that. Continuing to talk about the solid waste fund, it did have that negative net position of 937,000. We are aware that subsequent to year end, I believe perhaps effective October 1st of 23, there were some rate changes and other plans in place. So I believe that the process is in place to address that going forward. Auditors tend to be historians, so we're talking about what had happened as of September of 23. Some other discussion items that we had with management, just to keep you in the loop, that you may hear just through the process. We talked about the self-insurance workers' comp and the need for an updated actuarial report there. That's just an accounting matter there to fine-tune the estimates that are there, as well as capital outlays, just some processes that could be improved in looking at capital outlay and budgeting and how it's coded. Again, not that it's a problem, just an opportunity to improve some of that. And then IT. We do look at IT for the purpose of financial reporting and how that relates to our audit. I do like to emphasize that that's all it is doing, is just that segment, and want to continue to encourage. And we had some disaster recovery plan items, risk assessment, make sure the city is complying with some new Florida House Bill 7055, which is related to IT security standards. So just make sure those pieces are in place. I'm sure you've heard of local governments, even here in Florida, that suffered from ransomware attacks. So while there could be lots of fraud, fraud could happen. I don't mean Ocoee, just generally speaking. The IT side tends to become a bigger risk, more so than fraud and errors at this time. So keep an eye on that area, make sure that's getting due attention there. Last slide here. Just want to take the opportunity to thank the City of Ocoee, Mayor and Commissioners, opportunity to serve as your auditors, City Manager Frank, all of the departments of the city, particularly Finance, Ms. Roberts, Vanna, who has to put up with us the most through the audit process when we say, show us that, explain that, prove it. We do get great cooperation from the city. So with that, I'll invite any questions that you may have.
Commissioners, anybody have any questions?
No.
Appreciate it very much.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Have
Thank
a good
you, sir.
evening.
All right, staff report.
Nothing this evening, Mayor.
All right, public comments. I have one from Mr. Moyer, James Moyer.
Good evening. Dr. Jim Moyer, live in Arden Park in north side of Ocoee. I have the honor of currently being the chair of the Human Relations Diversity Board. For the last couple of months, we've had very, very brief guest speakers. Last year, we had veterans, In November and January, we had a guest speaker in regard to voting. In February, Black History Month guest speaker. March, Women's History Month guest speaker. April this month, we had Arab American Heritage Month guest speaker. Well, May, there's a lot of activity going on. In May, there's Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. There's Older American Heritage Month. There's Haitian American Heritage Month. There's Jewish American Heritage Month. So for May and June, we're bringing in a guest speaker that's going to make a 30-minute presentation in each month, 30 minutes in May, 30 minutes in June. And we're encouraging everyone to please join. And the theme of the guest speaker is fostering a sense of belonging. And we want everyone here to belong to the city of Ocoee and feel that they belong. Our meeting is on May the 2nd, which is the first Thursday at 6:15, right here. And then June the 6th, which is also the first Thursday, 6:15, right here. The guest speaker is Kavita Saul. She is with UCF Ginsburg Center for Inclusion and Community Engagement. So if you don't mind, please pack the house. Thank you so much, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Mr. Moyer. All right, we're down to the consent agenda. Any comments, or I need a motion?
I'll make that motion to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Wilson. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Kennedy. Any more comments? No more comments? Let's vote. Motion carries unanimously. All right, first reading, we have no first reading. Second reading of ordinance, public hearing. Wait a minute. Item 12, second reading of ordinance amending the City of Ocoee Municipal General Employees Retirement Trust Fund. Municipal Pension Board Chairman Cowan, I think, there she is. There she is. Over here. You got stuff to read too. Wait.
Very
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, Rita Cowan, General Employees, Chairperson. This request is to change the minimum age distribution. The age of the distribution needs to begin to be what the IRS needs to comply with the Secure Act 2.0. And the second is to, in section 28, purchase of credited service or airtime, and that is basically that all members need to be vested before they can purchase airtime.
All right, you got the.
Item number 12 is an ordinance of the City of Ocoee, Florida, relating to the City of Ocoee Municipal General Employees Retirement Trust Fund, adopted by ordinance number 2009-020, as subsequently amended, amending Section 6, benefit amounts and eligibility, amending Section 7, pre-retirement death, amending Section 9, optional forms of benefits, amending Section 15, minimum distribution of benefits, to provide for compliance with the Secure 2.0 Act, amending Section 28, purchase of credited service for airtime, providing for severability of provisions, superseding all ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date. That's it.
All right, I'm open to public hearing. Anybody in the public have any comments for item 12? All right, I'll close the public hearing and bring it back up to the dais. Anybody have any comments on item 12? All right, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Forster. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second.
Second. He started.
All right, seconded by Commissioner Oliver. Any more comments? No more comments. Let's vote. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Thank you, G. All right, item number 13, second reading of ordinance to Gardenia Point rezoning from unclassified district and R-1A single-family dwellings to PUD Planned Unit Development District. Project number RZ 23-0202. Zoning Manager Whitfield. Wait to read that if she gives.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, everyone. Thank you. Sorry for the, what happened? Okay. All right. Gardenia Point rezoning. The rezoning is for 37.37 acres, comprised of 4 parcels going from unclassified and R1A single-family district to PUD, Planned Unit Development District. The property is located on the north side of the railroad tracks and the 80 Mims Road at the end of a terminus of Ocoee Vista Parkway. It's currently low-density residential, future land use category, as well as some conservation future land use designation on the northern portion of the properties. It's currently vacant with scattered stands of trees. So this is an aerial of the 4 properties. So the trees are here. The surrounding future land use categories, essentially all low-density residential, and then surrounding zoning, there's a mixture of different R or residential categories as well as a PUD, and some county areas. Just a little bit of background history. Access to this property will be via Ocoee Vista, so north is to the right, south is to the left. This is Clark Road. Ocoee Vista is here. It currently ends at this point, and then it continues, the right-of-way continues in that direction. The right-of-way has been planned by the City Commission since March of 2006. This is a plat from Prairie Lake Reserve, the subdivision. Again, the yellow highlight is the existing tract that was dedicated to the city that is to be used for right-of-way. This slide essentially shows some easement locations. This is the Prairie Meadows subdivision, which is on the south side of Ocoee Vista Parkway. I'm sorry, Ocoee Vista, yes, Ocoee Vista Parkway. This is from the subdivision plan, and then this is from the plat. So this slide is essentially to show that when this project came in, there was planning for easements that are for drainage, for utilities, and for access and emergency services to be accessible from Ocoee Vista Parkway once it's extended. So this is an aerial of the property. Just wanted to show the distance of the property line to 80 Mims Road, and the width of the railroad right-of-way is just shy of 60 feet. This is an aerial zooming into the right-of-way tract. This tract K2 is the wall and landscape tract for this townhome subdivision up here, as well as their tract H for open space. So the subject property line starts right here. Just showing the locations of some other developments in the city where there's the rights-of-way close to property lines. So basically, property lines start where rights-of-way stop. So there's often not any spacing. Some subdivisions have like an open space tract that separates the first parcel or the parcel lines from the right-of-way. So just some series of slides that shows those types of examples. I'm sorry, I wanted to also highlight in this slide that one of the main reasons why the property can't be accessed off of 80 Mims is that there isn't sufficient right-of-way to allow for the crossover, to also allow for the separation for the railroad gate on both sides to make sure that there are no cars approaching or being on top of the railroad right-of-way. It's just a picture of the property from Ohio Shores, and then a picture of the railroad crossing as it exists now. And this is an aerial of the property, zoomed in. This slide was, the intent of this slide is to show other townhome subdivisions where there's rights-of-way that come near it, but there are tracts of open space that separates the smaller townhome lots from the roadway, which is essentially what the two subdivisions that are along Ocoee Vista have, and that this subdivision would have. So going into the site plan for the subdivision itself, so this is a land use plan since the rezoning is to a PUD. So this isn't actually the preliminary subdivision plan itself. This is just their concept that is required as part of the request for the PUD zoning classification. So although all 4 parcels are proposed as part of this rezoning, these 3 parcels up here, this one, this large one, the medium-sized one, and this triangular-shaped piece here will be untouched. It will just have the PUD zoning, but because the bulk, or essentially all of it, and the bulk of the biggest property is wetlands, our comprehensive plan policy requires a 25-foot buffer, so there's no way that they could be required to provide any connections through here to Prairie Lake. In terms of the development parameters that this land use plan is seeking, they're not changing the map from LDR, low density residential, to medium density residential. They're staying with the LDR. This is only a rezoning. Their gross density, which is the number of units divided by the total acreage of 37.7, is 2.25, so 2.25 units per acre. Their net density, so basically this upland portion of the property at the proposed 84 units, is 3.43. Both of those numbers are well below the LDR classification. Per the Wakaiva standards, they are required to set aside 35% open space. They are proposing to set aside 56.5% open space, not counting the ponds. So all that you see in the blues and the orangey color are just set aside. That is what comprises the 56%. In terms of access, it's limited by the wetlands and the railroad tracks, so the only means of access is the right-of-way that was planned in 2006 via the Ocoee Vista Parkway. In terms of lot size, the LDC's minimum lot size width for a townhome is 20 feet. They are proposing the smaller 20-foot lots on the interior. They're determining these as internal lots, and then larger lots at 24 feet in width for the ones that are on the perimeter of the property or of the project. And looking at the other 2 townhome subdivisions, they are of comparable size. Part of their amenities will be the tot lot that is here, as well as mapping or sort of delineating a walk path so that their residents can, when they go for a walk, they'll know how far that walk is for exercise purposes. In terms of parking, the LDC requires a minimum of 2 parking spaces per single-family unit. It does not make a distinction between whether that unit is townhome unit, single-family detached unit. Your traditional single-family home is just 2 units per dwelling unit. They are required 168 parking spaces. That's basically 84 times 2, but they are providing 289 parking spaces. 70 of those spaces are guest parking that they've attempted to scatter along the development site. Because this is a narrow strip here, and because they are trying to be sure to stay away from the wetlands, they have placed the bulk of their visitor parking spaces along the road here on the south side. Again, there's no connection to Prairie Lake Boulevard. In terms of the technical staff review, when we received this rezoning application, we looked at the school's capacity. A letter was sent, the traditional form was sent to Orange County Public Schools. They have received a letter from OCPS stating that there is available capacity for student seats for all elementary, middle, and high school students. We also looked at traffic impacts, and through our consultant, and based on that analysis, they adopted a level of service standard for all segments. And so there are essentially 4 built segments on Clark Road, and then the 5th one is the portion north of Clarkona, Ocoee, all the way to McCormick. All of those segments are level of service standard of D. But their operating level service standard, meaning how they're operating now, is at a C. Our engineers also looked at the intersections. And looking at the traffic impacts of the intersections, what they found was that the VC stands for volume over capacity. For the northbound direction, so if you're on 80 Mims, making a left going north onto Clark, that intersection is projected to operate at a level of a V over C, a volume over capacity of 1.0. What that means is it's close to failing, where the volume of the intersection is at the capacity of the intersection. So the volume of turns at that intersection is at the capacity of that signal. And what the engineering consultant is recommending is just signal timing considerations when they come in for the PSP. We also looked at it from a utilities perspective. At the rezoning stage, what we look at is capacity. So based on a review from our utilities department, capacities are available for water, sewer, and reclaimed water, and reclaimed water lines are in the Ocoee Vista Parkway in the current improved portion. Sewer points of connection will still need to be evaluated when they actually come in for the subdivision plan. From the engineering stormwater perspective, conceptually, where they are proposing to place the 2 ponds has been determined to be reasonable by our engineering and public works department. When we actually go to engineering the ponds themselves, that'll be at the time of the subdivision plan review. The DRC met on January 2nd. To consider the item, they didn't identify any major concerns and made a recommendation of approval for the rezoning with no conditions. So then the rezoning went to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a hearing on February 13th. There was quite a bit of discussion. I've placed in bullets there all the topics that was discussed at the Planning and Zoning Commission hearing. So traffic on Clark and Ocoee Vista, school bus safety. The school bus stop is based on looking at OCPS's website. It's at Clark and Ocoee Vista. Access onto 80 Mims, whether or not that's possible across the railroad track. Based on those other previous townhome projects, crossing the railroad track is either not possible or exceedingly challenging. Speeding situations, drivers speeding on Clark Road, noise from the train, natural resource protection. They did highlight, the Eagle's Nest there. This development will not be impacting that. There was a question a resident raised about the medium density of the development. This is, again, low density. Concerns regarding people cutting through Prairie Lake Reserve, which is a gated community, and Prairie Meadows, which is not a gated community. There was a lot of discussion on trees, specifically the trees in the access road, so the city's right-of-way tract. So between that track and the right-of-way for the rail, staff had explained that some trees would have to come down as part of the construction of the city roadway. And then there was questions regarding whether or not the developer will place fencing between this development and the railroad track. And I had asked the applicants to talk on that topic if the commission wants to ask that further. Based on all of that discussion, the Planning and Zoning Commission made a recommendation of approval by a 4-to-1 vote for the rezoning from R1A and unclassified to PUD for those 4 parcels there for purposes of their Gardenia Point subdivision. And with that, staff is also making a recommendation of approval for the rezoning. Thank you.
All right.
And the applicant team is here.
Yes. Yes, Mayor. An ordinance of the City of Ocoee, Florida, changing the zoning classification from unclassified and R1A single-family dwelling district to PUD, Planned Unit Development District, on certain real property containing approximately 37.37 acres located on the north side of the FCEN railroad tracks at the terminus of the unimproved Ocoee Vista Parkway right-of-way and assigned parcel identification numbers 10-22-28-0000-00-003, also 10-22-28-0000-003, 10-00-011, also 10-22-28, 0000-00-128, and 03-22-28, 2834-01-201, finding such zoning to be consistent with the Ocoee Comprehensive Plan, providing for and authorizing the revision of the official city zoning map, prevailing in the event of any inconsistency, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
All right, I'm going to open the public hearing. Does the developer want to make any comments?
Good evening, Jason Searle, Gray Robinson, 301 East Pine Street, Orlando. We concur with the staff recommendation. Thank you, Zoning Manager Whitfield, for the very thorough presentation. With me tonight is Jeff Summit, our project engineer. Happy to answer any questions. If there are any public comments, we'd ask for a chance to respond to those. Thank you.
Okay, I have two citizens here. First is Joe Fana. Come up to the.
Good evening. My name is Joe Fana, and I am the president of the Prairie Lake Reserve Homeowners Association in District 4. If you aren't familiar with our neighborhood, we're located at the end of Ocoee Vista Parkway. I would like first to state that I support the growth in our community and don't oppose this new project. However, representing the homeowners in our neighborhood, we have great concern about the proposed exit of this neighborhood onto the extension of Ocoee Vista Parkway. Currently, the plan is to exit the subdivision to dump out onto the new extension of Ocoee Vista Parkway, running parallel to the train tracks along 80 Mims, making a sharp right turn that will lead to the current terminus of the current street. Now, the concerns are the following: that an additional 80 to 200 cars dumping onto Clark Road from Ocoee Vista Parkway with no signal light will be a recipe for a multitude of accidents, if not serious injuries or death. In fact, there has been at least one death at that location. In addition to that, keep in mind that students sit at the corner each morning waiting to be picked up by their school bus that stops on Clark Road with little to no lighting and no supervision. In addition, emergency services. We cannot forget we have emergency services right there at 1600 Clark Road. The firehouse will struggle to exit from Ocoee Vista Parkway in the event of an emergency, as it will become very backed up. They already struggle getting onto Clark Road now, but yet we're going to add 80 to 200 cars to that exit. Currently, cars proceeding at a very fast pace from 80 Mims and Clark Road intersection. The visibility is extremely poor. Cars leaving Ocoee Vista Parkway in an attempt to get past the barrage of cars coming down from that intersection try to dodge traffic, if you remember Frogger from the 80s, trying to do Frogger to get across to the median so they can proceed south onto Clark Road. Once the additional parcels of land owned by the developer and the city sell on the corner of 80 Mims and Clark, and also on Clark and Ocoee Vista Parkway, where will that additional traffic funnel to? My recommendation would be for the new development to exit dump out directly onto 80 Mims Road, avoiding additional traffic onto Clark, even though it can be exceedingly challenging. We heard exceedingly challenging multiple times, but we can't not look at that option and figure out how to do it for the safety of the kids, for the safety of my daughter, who is now a teen driver, for the safety of our EMS. We can't do that just because it's difficult. So there are neighborhoods and facilities that exit over a set of railroad tracks. I think we can probably figure it out if we work together. I humbly ask that you consider this request and reevaluate the exit of this new subdivision. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, sir. Angela Jones.
I was kind of hoping there'd be like some kind of little stool here or something. Okay, I'm Andrea Jones. I live, actually my house, you can see it on there. I live in the Prairie Lake subdivision. I'm going to talk about similar things to Joe, but with a British accent instead of his announcer accent. So firstly, I've lived in Ocoee since 2015. It's been the happiest place that I've lived. My family love living here. We especially like the Recs department. We play pickleball a lot, so thank you for expanding and getting us some new courts. Our concern, we're not really particularly concerned with the subdivision, although it's going to be very, very close to the back of my house. Our big concern is the road. Joe went through in detail the traffic situation. I don't know if you've ever tried to turn out of Ocoee Vista Parkway, regardless of which way you're going. If you're going to try and turn left, you can't even wait in the median, so people take a lot of chances there. Coming out, cars are coming so fast from either side. If someone dares to turn another way in the median, you have no way to go. Just in general, it's bad, regardless of this new development. It could really use some form of looking at to see if anything can be done that's different. It's just going to be compounded with more traffic. But the other issue is the road that they're going to put between the railroad track and the houses that we have in our neighborhood now. We don't have a wall. We have sections of wall with just regular fences. And the foliage there and the established trees do a phenomenal job of forming a sound barrier for us. Once those trees are gone, and it's nice that they might try to save some trees, but my guess is the trees are going to be in the way, so they're pretty much going to be taken away. What is there in place so that we will continue to have a sound barrier? Is there a consideration of a wall? We're protected right now. The roads are getting busier and louder. It would be nice if current residents would get some form of thought in this process, because it's not going to be a positive impact to our life, let's face it. So if something could be done to mitigate that, or some thought given to that, I personally would really appreciate that. Also, I don't know if you've ever considered like quiet zones for trains. Like Maitland, they're not allowed to beep their horns there. Some of our train drivers are great. Some of them, I don't know, they don't. I don't know why they're beeping their horn so loud at 4 o'clock in the morning, but they do. So I don't know. Individual people can't apply for a quiet zone for trains, but government entities, I believe, can. So I don't know if that's something we could look at. But that's few and far between. It's mainly just the regular everyday traffic that's loud. So if some consideration can be given to that, I know Ocoee does a very good job with established trees. That's why our neighborhood is so beautiful. But recently, I've noticed that new developments, they're just demolishing all the trees that have been there forever, and then putting these fast growth trees in that aren't good for the environment. They're generally not good for the homes that they're planted right by, and they're just not as beautiful and not doing the job that they were there for. So that's all I have to say, but thank you for taking the time to listen. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Anybody else in the public have any comments on item 13? All right, I'm going to close the public hearing and bring it back up to the dais. Any commissioners' comments or motions? Huh? Okay.
Thank you to both of the members of the public that made comments. Those were great comments. Thank you. On the traffic, and I missed part of it because I didn't find it in the written report. You said that there's two issues, the Ocoee Vista Parkway and then the Clark A.D. Mims intersection. And you said that an engineer, you didn't say ours or theirs, said that the best solution was signal timing. And as the gentleman mentioned, there's still many undeveloped parcels at that intersection, so it's only going to get worse. Isn't there something, a better recommendation than signal timing available?
Yes, sir. So in terms of the engineer, the city's consultant engineer, Kimley Horn, who we contract with to do our reviews, their analysis showed that based on the city's concurrency management system for transportation, those 4 segments, or all 5 segments, actually even north of Clark-Ocoee Road, are operating at within the adopted standard. Understandably, sometimes adopted standards and perceived standards are not always the same thing. So sometimes perceived standards or perceived congestion is much worse than the adopted standards. So based on our contracted consultant engineers, the level of service standard for the segments are operating acceptably. The intersection at 80 Mims and Clark was the only one that they found where
Yeah.
just that one turn would be
But that's where
problematic.
on the northeast corner, that's where the additional undeveloped parcels.
Yes, the one commercial piece.
So, I agree with the citizens' comments. There needs to be, what I've noticed with a lot of these projects is they come and we say there's no good solution, and we push back, and then somebody comes back with a great solution. It seems to happen over and over and over. That's not a good enough solution, especially because they've been messing with the signal timing at Clark coming the other way for years, trying to alleviate the southbound traffic coming out of Clark. And so if you mess with the signal timing, you're just going to go back to where you were. I'm not satisfied with that.
What we had discussed with our consultant engineers is after Clark Road is done, completed, and then traffic adjusts to the new lanes, and then we would look at either signal timing along that entire segment. If a traffic signal is warranted or not, that would require a traffic signal warrant. We would follow the DOT's methodology for how we would conduct that signal warrant at that time.
Do you have, do you know what is most likely to go in the undeveloped parcels at this time? And how many, this is 200 additional daily trips, how many additional daily trips is that going to bring?
Yeah, Commissioner, Mike Rimmer, Development Services Director, if I may. Couple things. First, to answer your last question, the land has a commercial land use, so that is projected in the background traffic. There's two parcels. The city owns one, and the original developer owns the other, and there is a convenience station looking at that corner right now. But I will submit that also with the application is a transportation study done by a consultant as well. So it's not just a silo with the city looking at it. They have a professional that looks at it, makes a recommendation. We review it with our consultant and look at it. So if the study says that traffic signal is not warranted, not required, if we feel that that's a good idea, then what we have to do is we can apply a proportionate share. This development, say it had 13%, we have to pay the rest, we have to design and engineer it. We can't put a commitment on them that is not required from the study. So that's where we say there's good options, but that's where we're limited. If a system is failing and a development comes in, you can't even apply proportionate share on that project if it's already failing. So when we say there's good intentions, but someone presents a better one, there is, in this case, a series of professionals that have reviewed it and agreed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else have comments?
I have a couple of questions. Considering this is in District 4, Mr. Rumor, you just mentioned that there was interest of a convenience store at that location. I thought I heard you say that. I'm not sure.
Yes, the history of the parcel is Clark Road is a result of the Prairie Lake PUD. The Prairie Lake PUD are all the parcels on the east and west side of Clark Road, north of AD Mims, up to Hackney Prairie. The PUD had a number of tracts. It has a commercial tract on the northeast corner of AD Mims and Clark. It's a little 1 acre tract. It has the development north of that, which are townhomes and single family. The development north of that, which is townhomes, which leads you up to Hackney Prairie. And then you go to the east side of the road, you have single family townhomes. And then there was the commercial tract on the northeast corner, which the city had a good portion of it, and the original developer retains the rest. It has, in the PUD, the commercial tract allows for retail, restaurant, commercial uses to include convenience. And presently, there is a 7-Eleven looking at the
piece that is commercially zoned. And then the city retains as well a commercial piece. It's zoned that way. There's no change in use. It's not acreage, agriculture land. So that is already pre-baked in this PUD, which required the widening, the right-of-way, the construction of Clark Road, the intersection improvements, Prairie Lake Park. So the subject parcel, however, is not a part of the original PUD. It has the land use of low-density residential. If they were looking to amend the land use from up to 4 dwelling units an acre to something more, that's an additional trip that's not planned. That would have a different test than we're seeing right now. And then lastly, I just wanted to state, for the benefit of the railroad crossing, there has been numerous discussions with both Florida Central Railroad, who has the lease over the tracks from CSX in Jacksonville. They are not going to permit a crossing at all. That's all I got, sir.
So, you mentioned the commercial piece, which the city owns a stake in the commercial piece there.
We own all of it. We subdivided it. We sold the back half to the townhomes. So in reality, the commercial tract will potentially have a development of less transportation trips than if it were to develop at a good potential, because we sold off and we amended the plan for the townhome subdivision that was constructed. So that generates less trips. The city retains 3 acres in front, and then the original developer has a couple acres just to the north across from the fire station.
I guess, looking at this in layman's terms is that I'm envisioning a 7-Eleven with the widening of Clark Road. You got 4 lanes. You have Ocoee Vista Parkway right there. So we're already discussing how do we get traffic out of there, considering the road is now a 4-lane highway or road, and there's folks traveling up and down that road and trying to make a left turn out of there. You're going across 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 lanes to make a left turn with no buffer in the middle. So it's going to cause a traffic nightmare. Then you add the possibilities of a convenience store right there at that corner. To me, it seems that it's going to add more congestion getting in and out of there because you just stated that CSX or the owner, whoever owns the railroad tracks, will not allow the developer to have access to 80 Mims Road. So that causes, to me, it seems to me you have these homes and townhomes nestled in this one area, and only one way to get in and out. And I don't hear any suggestions as to a light, because now there's a light right there at 80 Mims and Clark Road right there. So now you're putting a light about 1,000 feet away. So there's some concern there for me, is that the traffic is definitely a big concern. But also, even beyond the traffic, the resident, thank you for your comment, the noise barrier between the railroad tracks is also another thing to consider. It's the traffic and no solutions being brought forth to mitigate the risk of accidents on a road that's now 4 lanes, as opposed to a 2-lane road right now that we still have issues to trying to get out and make that left turn or right turn.
All right, good. Commissioner First.
No, I don't have any questions.
The impact fee that are collected on that project, could you put it towards the traffic light? What would a traffic light cost at that intersection? If it's 1,000, I know if it's 1,000 feet, it's enough.
Yeah, it's not an issue with the it's not an issue with the separation. It's not warranted at this time. So a cost would be upwards of $650,000 for a 4-way traffic signal.
How much?
At that, 650,000, upwards of that.
I didn't think it'd be that much, but I mean. I mean, I'd love to see that on a quote. But I mean, you know, I ride everywhere. I ride that road a lot. And even though we're putting 4 lanes in, it's still gonna be a struggle coming out of there to get out. And honestly, I know we put the railroad crossing in Prairie Lake Boulevard, but that was because it's back further into the project. There's no way they'll let you put one across that. I mean,
That's why we, as part of the other subdivision, made the provision for the right-of-way dedication. But if you physically look at it, you could not create a intersection that would work physically out there. The cars would have to
I know it's
stop
right there
on
by the
Jahio.
road, but is there not, doesn't it go back further back?
You'd have to do both sides, and when you're on AD Mims, the cars would have to park in Jahio Road to be able to meet the separation at the crossbar for the gate and not block AD Mims.
Well, then, I'd love to see the quote for the traffic light. Why would it be that much? I thought most of those average anywhere around 300 to 350,000, don't it?
The one they built in Ingram, that has a little bit further span, but they are upwards of 650,000.
What did we pay
For
on
mast
that?
arms, we don't do strain poles.
Yeah, I'm like, huh?
And that had a little bit longer span. It's a
Well-
it's a lot of right of way out there, but yes.
I'm telling you, it is a dangerous place there coming out of that. Plus, with the fire trucks, do we even have that caution light there for the fire truck, when the fire truck comes out?
No.
See, there again, that should be there, you know? That I don't know why it's not there. We should have that caution light going there. But, I just think it's a lot of traffic coming out of there, you know, in that area there, especially on Clark Road. People seem to come across that railroad track coming that way in a hurry. You know, they seem to be speeding most times. And, it's gonna be a guessing game to get out. So that's my issue with it. I don't have a problem with the condos, but I got a problem with the exit or in or out. So that I do have a problem with.
May I ask, are we voting on the condos tonight, or?
We're voting on the zoning.
On the zoning.
On the zoning. It all pertains to the same thing. Okay, anybody else? Huh? It's PUD. Anybody else got any more comments? If not, all right.
Mayor, I just have one quick question. What is the average selling prices of the new subdivision or the townhomes? Did they have that information?
The applicant would have to provide that.
Okay.
One other quick question. If we're gonna sell that property off to somebody like 7-Eleven, can they not put in money towards that light if they're gonna go there? I mean, if we're gonna sell that other pieces of property, we take the money also, put it into the lights from those projects.
We would do a traffic study for those commercial pieces. However, it'd be a little bit different because they have vested trips based off of the commitments that they had to fulfill and they've done with the dedication of right-of-way for Clark Road, the construction of Clark Road, the turn lane. So they would have a traffic study, but it would be more operational, and that something may come up. Similar to, if you think of Fountains West Boulevard, there's a lot of development there. When the PUD came in for the arbors, there was still no requirement for a signal, and that's where I got, I'm sorry, the 670,000 is we're working with Orange County for a signal at West Road, and that's what Orange County said, it's north of 650,000.
Well, I mean, it seems to me like that they'd have to be able to participate, and we got, you know, would put it with all of us and do part of it. And I just think it's a dangerous situation myself. You need to make a comment. I can open back the public hearing real quick where you can make a comment if you want to.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate the discussions. All of this was vetted at the PZC, and as staff stated, we do have a traffic analysis that was commented on by the city. Also, if you're gonna deny our PUD zoning, I believe you're also inherently, Mr. City Attorney, could be denying our access to a public right-of-way. I would like the opportunity. I believe this is justified and merited and supported by competent substantial evidence. However, if we're gonna get into the weeds and talk traffic study details, I'd like to be afforded the ability to have my traffic study engineer here, together with a court reporter, and we could dive into these technical details. These are not issues that were foreseen or anticipated based upon the thorough vetting that this project has gone through over a number of years.
Mike, what's your process? What's your thought? Well, first of all, the traffic study that you've got already, what does it show? What does it show?
It doesn't state that there's a recommended need to provide a signalization or improvements at the intersection of
Does it
Ocoee
show a
Vista Parkway.
cap?
Yeah, oh, yes, sir.
I can read it. Thank you. Traffic impact analysis, City of Ocoee, Florida, presented by TMC, Traffic and Mobility Consultants. It's, as you can see, quite voluminous. I'll just read the executive summary, and this mirrors what Manager Whitfield had said in her presentation. Access, the one driveway connection on Ocoee Vista Parkway Extension. Intersection capacity, all study intersections currently operate within adopted capacity and are projected to continue to do so at build-out, including the project access driveway. Signal warrant analysis, this is what Mr. Rumor's talking about. The Clark Road and Ocoee Vista Parkway signal warrant analysis results indicate that a signal is not required at this intersection. And you have this, it was vetted, we received comments from Kimley Horn, we responded to those. This was thoroughly vetted as part of the normal standard process in the city.
Well, the reason I'm asking that question is, and I keep telling people, and what's happening on the north side of Ocoee, up off McCormick Road back to that, Popka's building houses up there, everybody comes that way. I don't see how there's not the traffic is coming, every bit of it's coming down that way in the morning and going back in the afternoon. There's just gotta be an overabundance of traffic. I mean, I don't know, where the traffic light warrant would come from, but that just seems strange. I mean, that's, okay, we can keep talking it forever, we'll just have to vote. I mean.
Yeah, Mayor, just want to just say from staff's review as on behalf of the city and the Land Development Code and Comprehensive Plan, we have to be careful between a contracted zoning. We can't say we'll give you PUD, but you're going to give us A, B, and C. And we look at different elements of the project and propose this project as is.
It still doesn't make you feel better or fuzzy, as they say, about the traffic, as far as I'm concerned. All right. Okay. All right. Close the public hearing again and bring it back. All right, commissioners. No more comments. I need a motion.
Based on what's been said, I'm going to make the motion to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Wilson to approve. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Commissioner Ferschner. Any more comments? No more comments? Let's vote. Motion fails 3-2. All right.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, since the issue seems to be centered upon the traffic analysis, I would ask for a continuance so that we may bring our traffic consultant to testify before the council, answer any of these questions and more, and also would invite the Kimley Horn representative on behalf of the city. As I see it, that's the only possible alternative to go from here.
After the vote. It's after the vote.
I know. It's after the vote. We can't do that.
The vote already happened.
The vote's happened.
I'm asking for a reconsideration at the table.
It would have to be someone who
on the
prevailing side can move for reconsideration.
It has, yeah.
You're asking questions and we want to be able to
All
answer
right,
them.
it has to be the prevailing vote would have to be a person that would bring that, so.
You're asking questions, we'd like to answer them.
The ones that voted no, right? No ones that voted yes.
So someone who voted no would have to make
Yeah.
a motion for reconsideration and then a motion to continue.
Well, we need a motion, so I haven't got one yet.
I'll do that.
All right. Now, I need he's gonna make the motion, do the continuance.
Motion, we need first
I'll
need a
make a
motion to
motion to
reconsider.
Reconsider.
Let's do that first.
I need a second.
Can I second that in that I was on, it has to be someone from the prevailing side? And is that correct?
As long as you got.
I think
The
so long as the
second can
movement,
come from
as long as it's, I think the second is okay.
Yeah.
As long as the movement was on the
All
prevailing
right.
side.
Commissioner Wilson seconds the motion.
I'll
Thank
support.
Can I ask
All
a
right.
question before we vote?
Well, hang on a minute.
I'm sorry.
Hang on. Motion made by Commissioner Kennedy, seconded by Commissioner Wilson. And now, yes, sir.
The question I have is, as opposed to a revoting and continuance, is there a process in place right now, if a motion fails, to go back through the process with the city staff, or even P and Z, to bring additional recommendations? They already know the questions we're asking, and actually go back through the process to answer those questions and come back before the commission with a clean slate.
Yeah, 6 months.
Not for 6 to 9 months could they start
6
that.
months, isn't it?
Yeah.
6 months you can.
Can I make a comment too? I voted yes because we were rezoning to a PUD, correct? That was what the issue was.
Correct.
Traffic was not on that item. Correct, is that why? That's why that's why I voted yes. For what the item that before us. So I'm assuming I was correct in what we're doing.
It's correct, but now we're in the process, we're gonna vote on this
Traffic is a consideration in the staff
it's
report.
in the
for
staff
PUD.
report too. I mean,
And in the evidence presented by the community.
Yeah. So call the question.
I am, question called, we need to vote.
To reconsider.
Now we're voting on this last motion would be yes.
Now, are we voting on?
Yeah, vote. Motion carries, Commissioner Oliver voted no, so motion carries 4-1 on, come back on it, they can come back. with it.
Reconsideration.
So,
So I need to make a motion to continue, right? So on reconsideration, I will make the motion to continue this item to allow the applicant to bring his staff and answer more of our questions and seek a better solution.
Motion so made, do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Commissioner Furson. Any more comments? Let's vote. Motion carries unanimously. All right,
You're welcome.
okay. All right, thank you. All right, we're going down to the regular agenda. Approval of commission liaisons to various boards. City Clerk, Melody Sibbett.
Good evening, Commission. Before you and your staff report, we had provided a list of the 2023 appointments that were made to the various boards for the liaisons. We're just requesting, as done in the past, that if there are any changes that are needed, to go ahead and do those this evening. Also, just we did note on the staff report, since the West Orange Airport Authority is not presently active, staff is not seeking an appointment at this time for that board.
All right,
The West Orange Airport Authority.
Mine's not, I read it at home, but it's not,
I want to be on the,
it keeps circling.
so we need to read them off from the start.
So the first advisory board that we have on the list is the Parks and Recreation Board. Currently, Commissioner Wilson
You wanna
is
stay
the
on that?
liaison.
I would like to remain on that
I
board.
move we put Commissioner Wilson.
Do you want
I
to just
can't
go
do
ahead
that,
and go
no.
down the
You
list
can
and
do
then
it.
we'll,
I can't do it as mayor.
I'll motion we keep Commissioner Wilson
Here's a second.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Forster. So let's vote on that. Make motion.
Yours come up.
No, it's right
Mine's
there.
not coming up.
All right, motion carries unanimously. All right, next.
The following board that we have is the Citizens Advisory Board for the Police Department.
I wanna
Currently,
stay.
Commissioner Kennedy is the liaison.
I want to stay there.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Wilson, seconded by Commissioner Forster. Let's vote. Commissioner Kennedy stays there.
I'm so sorry. Can we vote again?
It still ain't come up yet.
Vote again.
Did you say vote again?
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously. Next one.
Thank you.
Currently, for the Citizen Advisory for the Fire Department, we have Commissioner Forstner.
Who? Commissioner Forster?
Yes, I'd like to continue with that.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Wilson. Here's a second.
I'll
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Kennedy. Let's vote. All right. Next.
The next board is the Human Relations Diversity Board.
I want to be on that.
We had Commissioner Hart at the time.
Okay, I want to be on that.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Wilson. Second, please.
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Kennedy. Let's vote. Motion carries unanimously. Next.
The next one is the Personnel Board, currently Mayor Johnson.
I want to stay on it.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Kennedy. Your second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Forster. Let's vote. Motion carries unanimously. Next.
The Trice County League of Cities, we currently have Commissioner Wilson.
I'd like to stay on that. I'm on the board.
Your motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Kennedy. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Forster. Let's vote. Motion carries unanimously. Next.
The West Orange Airport Authority, we're not voting on.
Which one?
The West Orange
Airport Authority.
Chamber of Commerce, we have City Manager Frank.
I think,
Mayor, we did talk earlier, and I was just thinking about it. They don't require, there's no approval required from the board. It's just whatever you all agree to here. So I was thinking, just so I don't disappear on them, if you could, I'd like to do it until the end of July, and then if you could, at this point, appoint from August 1st on, Mr. Chadricks.
all right, do we hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Forster, seconded by Commissioner.
second.
Were you seconded?
Commissioner Oliver.
Oliver.
Yeah.
All right, let's vote. All right, motion carries unanimously. That it?
Yep, we have the Education Incentive Board that currently has Mayor Johnson.
Education Board. I'll keep it. I'll do it. I mean, nobody else wants it, I'll do it.
I'll take the board.
You want
the
the
board.
education?
Yes.
All right,
I'll make that motion.
Commissioner Wilson makes the motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Forster. Let's vote. Mayor, motion carries unanimously. Do I hear, what's the next one?
And the last one is the Metro Plan Orlando Municipal Advisory Committee. Currently, we have Commissioner Forstner and City Manager Frank as an alternate member.
I would like to let somebody else take a swing at the Metro Plan. I've been down there a number of years now.
Hold on, folks, hold on. I'm gonna hand the gavel over to, I move
It's my last
we
moment of
put
doing this.
Commissioner Kennedy. Oh, you do it, you gotta make the motion. I'm making a
Well,
motion.
no, you make the
I make the
motion.
motion, we put Commissioner Kennedy.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Well, that was pretty, he jumped right in that one.
Thank you very much.
Okay, a motion by the mayor
Yeah.
for
Nice,
Mr.
Jeff.
Kennedy to be on the Metro Plan, seconded by Commissioner Forstner. Let's vote.
All right, what about the
That was
Mayor
my
Pro-
last official
Mayor Pro
duty, you know,
Tem?
'cause the
Mayor
next
Pro
item-
Tem
The next one up.
We vote
No,
on
Mayor
Commissioner
Pro
Kennedy.
Tem was on consent, and that would be Commissioner Kennedy.
Commissioner Kennedy.
Oh, you probably should have taken that.
So you're the new Mayor Pro Tem, right? Yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Maybe
All
not
right.
many chances
Well
as me.
That's all the boards, right?
That's correct.
Send that out to everybody, will you?
We will.
What the boards were. All right. Now we're gonna skip over to school zone speed enforcement. Hey, by the way, Chief, come up front before I do this. I'm sorry. I apologize. I should have done that earlier. My mind was on something. I want the city manager to go ahead and tell everybody what you did today.
Well, actually, I think it's fairly well known at this point, Mayor, but Acting Chief Ogburn was appointed permanent police chief this morning. And, And Mayor, what we would like to do is maybe have some brief ceremony where we can like officially swear him in at the
And I
next
just wanna-
meeting. We thought it would be a little quick to put something together for today.
Yeah.
So then Chief Ogburn, if he wants to bring his family in to pin his same color badge on him again, he can do that. But congratulations.
Congratulations, Chief.
Congratulations.
Thank you. First, I would like to thank the city manager, mayor, and the commissioners. This is not an appointment that I take lightly. The agency's mission will remain the same. We're going to partner with the community to improve the lifestyle here in Ocoee. I'm very honored and humble, so thank you.
Congratulations. All right, now we can talk about the school zone speed enforcement camera program.
So back in November, there was a contract that was signed in commission, which allowed us to upgrade the red light cameras, the current ones in the city, to better technology. But also in that contract was the ability for us to implement school zone speed enforcement cameras. In order to do that, an ordinance would need to have been drafted. And one has been drafted, and the option I stand before you today is to ask commission if you want to move forward with it, with the ordinance. If not, we can stay status quo, or we can move forward with the ordinance and start the implementing of these school zone enforcement cameras.
I think the chief has laid it out fairly directly. The choices that y'all have, so just to go over them, right now, we do have the availability of these cameras at some point in the future, but state law says if you ever want to start using them, you have to go through the ordinance process, first and second reading. So you can, I'm sorry, my mic keeps going out. So you can do nothing at this point, knowing we have a contract that would allow that to happen at some point in the future, but you'd have to have a first and second reading of the ordinance. The other thing you can do is you can direct staff to move ahead with the ordinance and have your readings, but not go ahead and install any of the cameras right now. If you decide that's something you want to do in the future, really can be done within a couple weeks, just getting the contractor to go and put the cameras in. The third option you have is to go ahead and authorize moving ahead with the ordinance and directing one or two or any other designated number of cameras to proceed with them with our contractor at this point.
Okay. Anybody else up here have any discussions on it? Commissioner Wilson.
I know a few weeks ago I had some concerns regarding these cameras, but I think I've had a change of heart looking at the statistics that you presented to us. I think not knowing, and you know, I was volunteering at a program at the high school about a month ago, and I took my life in my hands, bringing myself and my vehicle into the parking lot when these kids were being dismissed. And I thought I was going to be creamed. I mean, I just kind of almost came to a standstill. And then you look at these statistics, and I mean, we have to protect our children. And I looked at the ones for the high school, Citrus Elementary. It's eye-opening. And it's a great concern to me because we do not, every life is important. So I personally feel the ordinance, putting it in place, and if we move forward with the cameras, that's one thing, but to put the ordinance in place to start. I'm always concerned regarding Tallahassee changing things on us, and we're being grandfathered in. I'm always concerned next year, what are they gonna do? That's, just something that's always happened. But some of these statistics that I'm looking at, if I'm reading them correctly, are scary. Am I wrong, that what I'm looking at?
No, you're not wrong at all.
So that's my opinion. I know a few weeks ago I really wasn't so positive, but I think the statistics talk. So that's where I stand and where I feel what we should be doing, but I'd be interested to hear what other commissioners have to say and members of the commission.
Anybody else got any comments?
I do. Commissioner Wilson, you're for option 2, is that correct?
I'm for putting the ordinance,
As you read it?
the ordinance in, and
Okay.
then we can move forward with the cameras at a later point.
That's what you
But at least
called
to get
to.
the ordinance in,
I'm for 3.
which is,
I know we all wish there was an officer on every one of those corners writing tickets for every single mile over. But as Commissioner Wilson said, the statistics of people going 10 miles an hour over is scary. And if we can at least curb that and continue to recruit and hire and get more, the ideal world. So I've looked at it. I'm all for it. I would like to do the ordinance and proceed. So my question is, how do we do a ranked vote? How do we decide which of those 3 we do?
I'd leave the city attorney to answer that.
I think by consensus, you can direct staff to put this on a future agenda. You can, and then it would have to be advertised and all of that.
so once we put the ordinance in, we can come back for the level of cameras.
Correct. And the ordinance that I revised, I made sure that we had all of the elementary schools identified here. Citrus, of course, is the one probably of most concern to you, I would imagine.
So we can, if you want number 3.
I think
can't
tonight,
bring
One vote for 2, one vote.
yeah, I think if you can come to a consensus to move ahead with the ordinance, we can put that together. In discussion, the second reading for the ordinance, you can, at that point, decide, should we move ahead and install, or should we not at that time?
But the ordinance will allow us to have the cameras.
Right,
Then we can go ahead and say, yes, we want them at a certain location after the ordinance is in.
right. If we go ahead with the ordinance, it changes your 3 choices to 2. And yes or no at the second meeting, do we want to go ahead and put any in at that time?
And commissioners also, it also gives us the opportunity, if we install cameras at one school, we don't have to do it in another one till later. We don't have to come to council to ask, can we do it?
Yeah.
The ordinance allows us to do it because it's already been approved.
Everybody okay with you making a motion for that? We need the motion.
Yeah, I'll second her motion.
Okay, I'll make the motion.
You know what the motion is? You know what
The
the
motion is to
is?
direct the city manager to put this on a future agenda
All right.
to get this
There's no second.
Right.
Thank you.
You seconded it, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, motion made by Commissioner Wilson, seconded by Commissioner Kennedy. Any more comments? Not, let's vote. Okay, carries unanimously. All right, thanks, Chief. Good luck. All right, discussion and direction regarding golf carts and low-speed vehicle use within the city of Ocoee. Assistant City Manager Shadrick.
I feel like I've been at the end of a very long round of golf.
You feel that good?
Is that the golf cart?
Well, at least you get to ride the carts now. You don't have to walk.
Only
This thing would come up. Mine's having problems. Melanie, why does
Oh, well.
mine keep spinning?
There it goes back.
Here we go. So I'm going to, for the record, Craig Shadrick's Assistant City Manager. Hopefully I'll get some of the techno voiceover effect that some of you have been experiencing. We do have people working on that to resolve it, and I can assure you that's going to get looked into immediately. I'll give you the option. I have a fairly lengthy presentation that dives into the statutes regarding both golf carts and a less often talked about animal called a low-speed vehicle, okay? Commissioner Oliver had shared actually a very effective little cartoon with me on video, and I didn't have time to pull it up, but if you're interested in watching a cartoon on that, it's online, I'm sure, if you Google that. So I'll leave it up to you. I can kind of paraphrase this. As you all recall, this was innocuously brought up at a commission meeting several meetings ago with respect to some citizens that had expressed interest in their neighborhood. I believe it was Safety Harbor, having a resolution done adding them to our golf cart communities. And then discussion ensued about what about letting the state statute apply. There we go. Arigato. Hopefully some of you got that. So I'm going to dive in here. Just first and foremost, golf carts. Under the Florida statutes, 320, Section 1, subsection 22 defines a golf cart as a motor vehicle that is designed and manufactured for operation on a golf course for sporting or recreational purposes, and that is not capable of exceeding speeds of 20 miles per hour. Golf carts may be operated on roadways that are designated for golf carts. There are some already approved in Ocoee, which we all know of, and I'll show you a map momentarily. And they have a posted speed limit of 30 miles per hour or less. Golf carts are not titled or registered and not required to be insured. Use on municipal streets must be specifically designated by that municipality with signage. That's what we have now. We're kind of a little neighborhood golf cart community, and that's where some of the additional discussion arose. Continuing on, golf cart use on a two-lane county road located within the jurisdiction of a municipality has to be designated by that municipality. Before making that designation, the responsible local government entity must first determine that golf carts may safely be operated on or across the public road or street. And, there's a lot of factors that can go into that, but one thing that's implicitly clear in the statute is we need to determine the safety of a road that golf carts are allowed to operate on. Golf cart may be operated on part of the state highway system, believe it or not, only under the following conditions, however. To cross a portion of the state highway system which intersects a county road or municipal street that has been designated for use by golf carts if the Department of Transportation has reviewed and approved the location and design of the crossing and any traffic control devices needed for safety purposes. And upon its determination that golf carts may be operated on a given road, the department shall post appropriate signs on the road to indicate that such operation is allowed. And golf carts must be equipped with efficient brakes, reliable steering, safe tires, a rearview mirror, red reflectorized warning devices in both the front and the rear. Very important here because of some recent incidents that have occurred in the city. A golf cart may not be operated on public roads or streets by a person who is under 18 years of age unless he or she possesses a valid learner's permit or valid driver's license. It cannot be operated by a person who is 18 years of age or older unless he or she does have that valid form of government-issued photographic identification. A local government entity may enact an ordinance relating to golf cart operation and equipment, which is more restrictive than the statute, and that includes golf cart operation on sidewalks adjacent to specific segments of municipal streets, county roads, or state highways within the jurisdictional territory of the local government entity. If, and it's a big if for sidewalks, if we determine that after considering the condition and current use of the sidewalk, the character of the surrounding community, and the locations of authorized golf cart crossings, that golf carts, bicycles, and pedestrians may safely share the sidewalk. Additionally, we would have to consult with the Department of Transportation before adopting the ordinance. The ordinance would restrict golf carts to a maximum speed speed of 15 miles per hour and permit use on sidewalks adjacent to state highways only if those sidewalks are at least 8 feet wide. Additionally, the ordinance would require that golf carts to meet the equipment requirements that I just mentioned. However, it may require additional equipment, including horns or other warning devices required by one of the sister statutes. The local government entity posts appropriate signage. So we have to put signage up and inform residents that the ordinance exists and applies to such sidewalks. So let me just stop there for a second. Golf carts, we have to designate the areas where they can operate. We have to post signage. That's a big difference between the golf cart and the other little animal, the low-speed vehicle. Okay, very important for you to know because you've got a couple of options. Now let's switch gears for a minute and talk about low-speed vehicles. Low-speed vehicle means any four-wheeled vehicle whose top speed is greater than 20 miles per hour but not greater than 25 miles per hour, including but not limited to neighborhood electric vehicles. Low-speed vehicles must comply with safety standards as outlined in Florida Statute 316, subsection 2122, which we'll go over very briefly. Although they may look the same as golf carts, low-speed vehicles must have a registered license plate in order to drive around city streets. The operation of a low-speed vehicle or a mini truck, which is a cute little vehicle that either runs on propane or electric battery power that looks like a little truck with a tiny little cab on it, is defined in section 320.01. On any road is authorized with the following restrictions. The low-speed vehicle may be operated only on streets where the posted speed limit is 35 miles per hour or less. This does not prohibit a low-speed vehicle or mini truck from crossing a road or street at an intersection where the road or street has a posted speed limit of more than 35 miles per hour. A low-speed vehicle must be equipped with headlamps, stop lamps, turn signal lamps, tail lamps, reflex reflectors, parking brakes, rearview mirrors, windshields, seat belts, and vehicle identification numbers. A low-speed vehicle or mini truck must be registered and insured in accordance with the statutes and titled pursuant to Chapter 319. Any person operating a low-speed vehicle or mini truck must have in his or her possession a valid driver's license. I just kind of went over this, so I'm going to skip it. Now, this looks awfully similar to a golf cart, doesn't it? But this is actually a low-speed vehicle because it meets all of those designated requirements that are designed for safety. And therefore, these vehicles can go way more places in the city currently without an ordinance in place, just under statute, than a golf cart can, because they've jumped through the hoops. There is actually an entire section that deals with conversions of golf carts and the process that you go through to do that. It's a series of forms and documentation requirements, and depending on how good a record keeper you are, it's a pretty simple process. So let's switch gears. Finally, I'm in the fairway on the 18th hole here, so bear with me. The Ocoee ordinance. In our ordinance, a golf cart can be operated between golf cart communities that are adjacent only if such provision is specifically included by the Ocoee City Commission in the resolution approving the golf cart community. So we have an ordinance in place. We'll point out we need to do a little bit of a cleanup to make it consistent with statute, I believe, with regard to the age requirements. So that's something that if you choose to continue forward with the current setup, that needs to be done, and I've already spoken to planning about that. But a golf cart being operated on a golf cart permitted street with a posted speed limit of 25 miles per hour or less may, with the sole purpose of continuing travel along such street, be operated across an intersecting street with a
posted speed limit in excess of 25 miles per hour, but not to exceed 35 miles per hour only if such intersection is governed by a four-way stop sign or traffic signal. Otherwise, a golf cart may not be operated across any intersecting street with a posted speed limit in excess of 25 miles per hour. Stop there for just a second, because there's been some discussion about should we lower the speed limit on certain streets. Orlando Avenue came up as part of that original discussion. We actually did a speed study out there, and the average speed in the 85th percentile was 37 miles per hour. And we reached out to Kimberly Horn, who is our traffic operations consultant, and they emphatically stated that the current context of the road, which it functions as a collector, which we really don't use those terms anymore. It's a suburban neighborhood roadway, or a C3, which don't confuse that with C3 zoning. That's totally separate. But the context doesn't support lowering the speed limit. In addition to the published handbook standard, doesn't support lowering. So that's not something that we would be proposing as an option in that particular case. Continuing on through our ordinance, except as provided in section 153.19 below, golf carts shall only be permitted to operate within a golf cart community or on a golf cart permitted street during the hours between sunrise and sunset, unless it's equipped with headlights, brake lights, turn signals, and a windshield. It can be operated within a golf cart community or on a golf cart permitted street during the hours between sunset and sunrise. We have resolutions for the following neighborhoods. I'm not going to read them all into the record. We have a map here which shows the currently permitted sign posted golf cart neighborhoods in blue, and the little outline one in red on Silver Star, Ocoee Poplar Road. You see there's a large list of roads that golf carts cannot cross or drive on. Okay? Low-speed vehicles can drive on most city streets, and they can even cross State Road 50. So a low-speed vehicle that's been approved by the DMV and registered and insured, has all those little safety features that are required, that looks like a golf cart, can drive just about anywhere in Ocoee right now. So you have a couple options that I'd like for you to consider and discuss tonight, and you can always punt that to a future date, but I wanted you to understand first and foremost that you have a community that has a lot of people with golf carts that like driving around in their neighborhoods, okay? So one option would be to maintain status quo with the process that we currently have for neighborhoods, mindful that they can't get out on streets that are above 25 miles per hour. And if they do, they're subject to citation. So one option would be to keep that in place, and neighborhoods such as Sleepy Harbor could petition the commission to adopt a resolution including them as a golf cart community, which would then require us to post signage and define the boundary by resolution. Okay? You don't have to do anything for low-speed vehicles. Okay? The only other option you have would be to just say we want to just allow low-speed vehicles only, and repeal the golf cart ordinance, and people can drive their low-speed vehicles darn near anywhere. I think, you know, based on the fact that you have a lot of people that have golf carts, they may not want to convert them to low-speed vehicles. There are several communities, and I didn't bring the list, that have gone to low-speed vehicle only, and there are just as many communities that have designated golf carts for the people that just want to putter around the neighborhood, and they allow the low-speed vehicle per the statute. So
question before you is very simple. Do you want to continue on the way things are, or do you want to restrict it? And separate and apart from that was the original question that came up, I believe, about Sleepy Harbor, which you would need to, by motion or consensus, direct us to bring back a resolution to incorporate that neighborhood. So I will conclude my presentation there. I'm exhausted.
You hit that one
Putted on that one.
You hit that one in the woods. So, any commissioners have comments?
I do. Yes, I brought this up a while ago. I tend to think we have a fair amount of people that have golf carts, that if they're an approved golf cart community or golf cart streets, we could continue to allow that and let neighborhoods that want to be included in that situation. Let's just use Sleepy Harbor. They're kind of a landlocked, they can't cross over Orlando Avenue, but if they wanted to, they could, go within the streets within the neighborhood. And just as we've done, Admiral's Point has that they have to stay within Admiral's Point. I would like to stay with that. Now we have the electric, the other, what do you call them?
Low-speed vehicles?
Low-speed vehicles. I haven't seen too many of those out on Orlando Avenue. I understand I will be seeing some out on Orlando Avenue. I'm getting a head shake over here. But I don't know how many we have in the community. A lot. We do have a lot? Okay, so folks are converting to those. I just would like to continue to allow in the neighborhoods that, that they would be able to use the basic golf cart within the communities, the community they live in, and designate with the signage that this is, and knowing they can't go off on, or they can't, in my case, they can't cross over Orlando Avenue. And I have no problem going to the HOA and ask if they want that. Let them designate or request that we do that. That's my thought.
Commissioner, anybody else?
I do. I have a problem with that, which I'm going to reiterate, which is Sleepy Harbor, is that Sleepy Harbor? Is not a gated community. I disagree. I don't think a non-gated HOA has any role in dictating to the residents whether they can drive golf carts on a city street. That's what I don't like about the golf cart zones in the ordinance. 5 people out of 500? 2 people? Who's gonna apply? Those HOAs are not full, deed restricted HOAs, mandatory HOAs with control over the streets. When you have a gated community, that HOA owns the streets, owns the drainage, owns the sidewalk, and has the right and the privity to determine things like golf carts. I just totally disagree with the way the ordinance is crafted. I don't understand it. I don't understand why commissioners would be involved in one-ofing requests for neighborhoods. The neighborhoods either meet the requirements or they don't. It should be set up in the criteria of the ordinance. I agree with the low-speed vehicles completely, and I'm willing to allow golf carts per the statute, is my opinion. But I do not like a process where a commissioner goes out to a neighborhood and meets and we confer some right or we don't confer some right to apply. I just don't understand that. I don't think that makes any sense at all. I would agree to rewrite the ordinance to update the age, but I totally dislike, and I don't think there's any good from the structure of the golf cart zones by neighborhood, especially for these non-gated communities that frankly have, excuse me, should really have no say that governing, the HOA does not govern the streets. We do. And that's my position. Thank you.
Anybody else?
I agree with recommendation number 1, but I also think that the city needs to put out some type of a PSA explaining the difference between golf carts and low-speed vehicles to everyone. So that will inform the public that if they do want to drive on public streets, they can make the modifications to their golf course to comply with that state statute. A lot of them probably don't know the difference between those two type of vehicles, and they probably think that golf carts have unlimited accessibility and everything. They're probably not aware of the ordinance either. So it just, the public education needs to be increased and everything, so everybody knows what we're talking about.
Anybody else?
I tend to agree with the educational piece that Commissioner Fershner just mentioned, but I also would have to agree with most of the comments of Commissioner Kennedy, that if a community is a gated community, it was planned that way, then they have every right to control the streets and what types of vehicles that they want on their streets, because it's a private community. Now, when we have communities that are not gated, that means that there are streets. So now we have our police officers now patrolling and trying to figure out who to give tickets to on either low-speed vehicles or golf carts. So, and I appreciate your Mr. Roboto comment as well. So, yeah, you know, I can agree with the first recommendation, but I also have to kind of be a little more pragmatic about this whole thing, because in my neighborhood it's not a gated community, but we do have. I would venture to say they're low speed vehicles because they travel really fast. But the problem I have with it is this: I see a lot of kids driving them, and that's what scares me. So whether it's my community or your community or any other community, I think we need to figure out how do you regulate that? Who jumps on this cart? Because again, a police officer is not going to always be around, and there's kids that's out joyriding on low-speed vehicles and golf carts. So the question becomes, how do we regulate this? Or do we just leave it to gated communities to do it? So I'm kind of torn between the comments. But my main concern is always the kids that I see on those low-speed vehicles and the golf carts.
So are we saying, Mayor, that you're going to wipe out and I'm not talking about gated communities, they own the streets, that's not the issue. The issue is the non-gated communities. So are we going to tell all the folks that we have already made a golf cart, not the other low-speed vehicle? Are we telling everyone that's in a golf cart that now we're not going to allow that anymore and all you can have is a low-speed vehicle? Are we telling them that, this is very confusing. I'm going to use Admiral Point. We're going to tell Admiral's Point, no, you can't do this anymore. Downtown, they're allowing golf carts. I think it's on that area here. This map is a little hard to figure out, but are we telling folks that are in the downtown area that were able to use a golf cart before, you're not going to be able to use it anymore? That's where I think I'm very confused as to, and I guess this goes to Mr. Kennedy. What are you saying? Are you saying
the
wipe it out
opposite.
totally?
No, I'm saying the complete opposite.
'Cause I'm not.
What I'm saying is, if there is a non-gated community,
Right.
that the streets meet the statutory requirements for golf carts to be allowed, they should be allowed. And there is no need for anybody to apply to us for anything other than the signage.
Well, that's the issue that
If I could clarify something,
Okay.
we have to designate those for golf carts, okay? So
But
If a
you
golf-
can do it by criteria, not
You
by.
could, there's the safety
Not by,
test.
I went and met with this HOA, these 3 people, and I waved a magic wand and made Sleepy Harbor a community.
Correct. You know, the city, when this first came up, there were certain neighborhoods that wanted to do that, so in response to that, we moved forward with it. But, we still have to have an ordinance in place for golf carts, because regardless of whether, and the statute's very clear that we have to do the designation, we have to do the safety determination, and so on and so forth. And we have to put the signage up.
And
Right.
we should.
So,
But there shouldn't be anybody excluded from that.
No.
You shouldn't have to, I mean, we have this thing right now where there's some neighborhoods that aren't, that qualify.
Correct.
Because they haven't, I guess, met with the right person or filed the right form. I mean, you're conferring and not conferring special rights that are governed by statute.
But we have to put signage, and we have to make a determination. So normally what you would do is have someone come forward and say they'd like that to be. There's some streets that don't have anyone who owns a golf cart, so we don't need to do that.
It doesn't matter. If
Well,
they have
signs
one, if they have one hypothetical person that may someday want a golf cart, and it's legal under the criteria for that person to be able to drive a golf cart, they should be able to do so legally. Our country does not exist that I have to tell you in advance and seek your permission for any right that I have that I might want to exercise in the future. If the street meets the requirement, I should be able to drive my golf cart on it in my neighborhood.
But then the person, we have to go out and evaluate the street.
Yeah, go do it.
Well, you
We
want-
have
you
on
want every
streets,
street-
we
you
know
want every
what
street
streets
evaluated and every street
We
signed.
know what streets qualify.
That's almost every street.
Yeah.
So
we'll
you
do
want
it.
signage on every street.
If you're gonna allow golf carts, yes. I don't think it should be pick and choose and I
I
don't
think they should
like
come
that.
forward and just ask us to evaluate the
Who
street.
come forward?
Someone on the street comes forward to us and says, would you evaluate my street and put a sign on it? Why, what's the problem with having someone come forward?
That's a complete waste of time of this commission.
Well, it's a lot of waste of time and a lot of money for signage if someone does not want it or doesn't have a need for it.
That-
All right. Hey.
You can't argue a negative.
Hey, Craig, what's the difference in us and Winter Garden? I mean, hell, they got golf carts everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, they're on the streets, and I don't see signs. I mean, I see them on the back streets, I see them on the front streets.
Area that's signed.
We're gonna make this
that-
into a quagmire here is what we're doing.
Winter Garden has signs that say.
I know, but they don't have them everywhere. I know, I've been on the back streets and there's golf carts back there.
They don't have signage
If you
everywhere.
drive, my golf cart, for instance, is legal, except for going on over 35, whatever it is, it's legal.
You have, I believe, a low-speed vehicle. Okay, which is a big difference.
Well, I can't do 60. Yeah, but I'm just saying, why is it not simple to do what somebody like they did? And just say, if you're on that road and it's not legal, then you get a ticket. Why go through all that? I mean, we just say you can ride the golf carts in Ocoee if it's on a 25 or up to 30 or 35, whatever it says it is. What's wrong with doing that?
There's nothing wrong with doing that. If you wish to do that, then you need to direct us to conduct the proper analysis and bring that back as a resolution.
But let's do that.
Cleanup of the ordinance, and we may, I don't know estimating how much this appropriate signage would be if it's more than what we would have on hand.
So if I could just comment very, very briefly. I actually called up the state statutes here, and I think part of the reason that we did it by individual subdivisions was because if you read the statute, it says that every road operated by a county or the municipality, or it goes in and talks about water management districts, each particular road must be authorized for those golf carts. So I think instead of us going and looking at every road in the city and saying yes, no,
Yeah.
it was probably easier to do this in smaller bites and say, yes, all the roads within this subdivision are fine. Yes, all the roads within this subdivision are fine. So the only other way, another way to do it would be to maybe look at each subdivision and then just, bless them all at once. And, but it's clear that it has to be looked at under the guise of, is this road safe to have a golf cart on? And only after that determination has been made can someone drive a golf cart on it. So I think that's kind of where the sticking point we're seeing is we don't really have an issue with it, but as the owner of the road, we have to go out to each of these roads and say, yes, it's safe and it should be allowed here. And,
I mean,
and it's
let's-
authorized.
That's what you should do.
That's the thing, but if you're up in your neighborhood, they can't ride that golf cart down to Ocoee.
Correct.
I mean, that's
Can't
just,
cross
you can't cross that road with a,
Correct.
so, I mean, that solves those problems, but
As he said, simply, the statute says.
just put the statutes
Assess
out,
each
and that's what
road.
we live by.
Just assess it by road. Just assess it by road, just as he read, simply.
Like I said, if it's got speed limits, you can't be on it.
I wasn't.
I'll make that motion.
What's your motion? Say it.
I'll make a motion to for staff to review the ordinance, make necessary changes such as the age, and to look at creating an evaluation by road for golf carts and bring back a proposal.
Do you hear a second?
I'll second that motion.
Seconded by Commissioner Oliver. Any more discussion?
I do have
Vote no.
one question before we actually vote. In your analysis, can you provide us with a possible cost to put these signs up?
Thank you.
And
That's what I said.
where they're gonna go and how many signs we need and what would it cost to put those signs up?
Well, I'll make a comment about that. We put speed limit signs up, we have to have a cost for that. I mean, we're doing something for the benefit of citizens, so why does that matter? I mean, within reason, it's not gonna be any more than it would if you put speed limit signs up or all these other signs we got all over town. So that doesn't pertain to what we're doing. It doesn't.
It does. I agree with Commissioner Oliver on that.
How does it do that?
We
Well,
need
then
a cost evaluation.
they're legally, you're doing the legal thing that you're saying do on cars.
Well, then-
What's the difference?
I think when we look at the cost of putting.
Well, let's look at the cost and then we'll vote on it.
Okay,
Let's see how the vote goes.
okay.
You know, I mean, you putting signs up for everything else that we do. I mean, why not put that up? No matter what the cost. Okay, so that motion, we voted on it, didn't we?
No,
Oh,
not yet.
let's vote.
I'll agree. We'll go from there.
Motion carries unanimously. Whoopee. All right. Comments from commissioners. Commissioner Firstner.
The only thing I have is to remember that the fire department is having their open house down at Fire Station Number 25 on Bluford Avenue. It'll be on Saturday, April 27th, between 10 and 2 p.m. Bring the family down. It's a lot of fun. The kids really enjoy it. There's a lot of things for them to do. You get to meet the firemen that are protecting you, and free food, free games. Come on down. That's all.
Commissioner Oliver.
I'll be very, very brief. The Clark Road widening project is still underway, and there's been a lot of question as to when it's going to be complete. I'll be meeting with city planner to get some type of estimate as to when that's going to happen, and I'll make sure that the word gets out on that. So just be patient. As you can see, those guys are working on Saturdays, Sundays. It's raining. They're still out there, so they have a sense of urgency to get that project complete. Also, some of the other projects you'll see is the light at the corner of Ingram and Clerical and Ocoee. The lights is flashing, so also be patient with that because I did talk to the county. There is a process that goes into that. Light timing as well, so they can't just turn the light on. They have to actually go through a whole process to bring that light, to bring it live, and it also has to be in sync with the other lights along Clerical and Ocoee. So that is a process. So be patient, and that light will be soon operational. Also, other lights I did talk to them about is Apopka, is actually a Ocoee Apopka Road in McCormick, as well as Apopka Vineland and a McCormick. So I have to, I haven't gotten a call back on those yet, but I am diligently working on seeing what can we do to expedite those two lights on the end of McCormick Road. And also, one of the concerns that I have, or that citizens have in District 4, is the West Orange Trail. And I finally got the contact for the director of the West Orange Trail from the county to talk about, there's 3 intersections there. You have the Ingram Road intersection that the West Orange Trail intersects with, also Arden Park North, as well as Clark Road. Those are some dangerous intersections for pedestrians, folks that's riding their bicycles. So I'll be working with the county to try to figure out what we can do to mitigate traffic accidents dealing with pedestrians at those 3 particular intersections.
Mr. Mayor, may I make a point of order?
Point of order.
I have a question. Forgive me. Attorney Geller?
Yes, sir.
Can you remind me, Commissioner Oliver is speaking his own words, saying that he's met with the county. I'm not sure what capacity that's in, but I believe we have a rule that commissioners aren't supposed to be meeting with the county in their official capacity, only the mayor isn't. Could you clarify that? And
I'd have to look at the
new
city
rules
charter.
and procedures say that only the mayor may represent the city with the county, I believe. And I'd like to know, maybe that's new to Commissioner Oliver since he was a commissioner before, but I'd like clarification. Thank you.
Yeah, just please, you'll have to give me a moment to go through this.
We'll go ahead and finish this while you look.
Okay, well, let me go back a little bit. So as a citizen of District 4, I also have the right to contact the county to ask them about these projects. So therefore, I will pull back my comment, and I will say that as a citizen of District 4, I'm actually working with them on these projects to see if we can actually mitigate accidents when it pertains to pedestrians at those particular intersections, even if we may look at possibly getting grants to help them mitigate the costs for that. Yeah, go ahead.
Mayor, may I respond now to the point of order? Rule 1.2.3, the mayor shall serve as the city commission's designated liaison and representative for meetings and interactions with elected and appointed representatives of the federal, state, and other local governments unless the city commission designates another member for a specific task. So I think Mr. Oliver is within his right to speak to members of Orange County staff at a staff level to inquire about the types of improvements could be made on the trail. I don't see any restriction on that.
I just wanted clarification because he didn't specifically say who he met with. And of course, respect his right to meet as a citizen. Thank you very much. Sure.
All right. Thank you, sir. And finally, I do know that in District 4, we have had some crimes happening on Clark Road and Silver Star. We've watched the news, we've seen all these things, but I do want to let you know that these crimes are not being committed by citizens of Ocoee. These crimes are being committed through folks that live outside of our city. Keep in mind, folks, that Ocoee is a donut hole. We have the 408, we got the 429, the Turnpike, Silver Star, Clerical and Ocoee, all these thoroughfares that go through our city, and folks are using those thoroughfares to either commit crime or get away from a crime that they committed. So make no mistake about it, these crimes are not being committed by our citizens, but I assure you that our police department have active investigations going on, and anything that we can do, or they can do to make sure that these crimes are minimized, I'm sure they will be on top of that. So as we go, I feel safe. I feel okay with the current police department. But again, just be patient and know that these crimes aren't being committed by our residents. And finally, I'm going to leave you with a quote, as I always do. Over 50 years ago, Winston Churchill came up with a definition for success that integrates both sides of the coin. It remains one of the most ingenious explanations of the concept ever put to words. Success consists of going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. Thank you very much. Have a good night, and I'll give it back to the commission.
Commissioner Wilson.
I would just like to thank all of our volunteers that showed up tonight and all the volunteers that are in all of our boards. I think I was on the Park and Recreation Board before I became commissioner, and I think for anyone out there who has an interest in being on a board, you learn so much. You learn the community, you have an opportunity to voice your concerns and issues. And, I mean, aside from coming here, but it's just another opportunity that we have. And I think that we have one volunteer that many of us know, Gordon Applegate, who was with us for 34 years, if I'm correct, Melanie, that he just recently retired from one of the boards. But again, 34 years on one board is quite a long time. And I just have to thank everyone who's on these boards, because you do, I know you maybe come out once a month, twice a month, and you put a lot of work into being on the boards. And I appreciate it. I think we all appreciate it. So thank you very much for your time. That's it.
Commissioner Kennedy.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, everyone, for your patience with my voice. I apologize, but I'm still recovering from a health issue. The only update I have, some of you may remember, is it Martha Lopez Anderson?
Yes.
Martha Lopez Anderson donated the Heart Save Station, her nonprofit group that is installed outside here. And at the time, we proposed putting in the budget to put a program in place to put those throughout all recreational facilities in the city. And we voted for 4 for this budget cycle. I requested an update from the fire department, and I received an update from the deputy chief that the 4 of those are moving forward, and they've selected the locations for them. But also, again, thankfully, Martha Lopez Anderson, working with their group and some cost savings, they're going to be able to get a 5th one. And so I know that Mark Johnson and the fire department are working together to select the 5th. But this is really important. If you don't know the story, maybe look it up. But this is a very simple thing that we can do that is proven to save the lives of young people. And my hope is that over time we'll have them, as I said, in every public park and recreation facility. And we're also requiring developers, as they put in new recreation facilities, to provide the AED and the safe station. So I wanted to share that update. It's really good news, and let everyone know that. That's all I have. Thank you.
Just real couple quick things. Speed limit on Kissimmee, Chief. If we could kind of do something there. I know I see them sometimes parked down by the church, but I think that's when the church is having service there on that one part. But those people seem to think that's a racetrack down through there. You can hear them winding up coming up that road. So we need to kind of put a quietus to that. Would see if we can stop them from doing the speeding on Kissimmee. The other thing is I asked Rob about this, and this is something simple, but I could do it during the day, but steps coming up off Oakland Avenue up to the backside of the city hall for people to come across from coming there and park. We need steps put back in there that never got put in. So the other one is please get them to pave that strip coming by not in the post office, because that's not ours, but the road, Bonus, Silver Star, Annex, whatever. That is the most obliterated road I ever seen in my life. And we just keep saying we're going to do something. All we do is go throw a little asphalt in the hole, and 2 days later it's back open. So that needs to be fixed. It's the little Annex road there.
Is that Annex Road ours, or is that?
It's ours. That one is ours.
No,
But we don't seem to be ours because we ain't taking care of it, but I think we need to fix it. So that's, also, I know there was with pertaining to what he said about the shooting last week, but the garbage company quit picking up garbage because of that one deal. I asked the guy, I said, don't you have other trucks, that you can still go out and pick up garbage? They just stopped, and said, hey, this guy got shot, so we're not gonna pick up your garbage in the town. So I think we need to see if they called our department, or do we say, yeah, go ahead and do it? But they didn't pick up garbage for a week in some of the neighborhoods.
Rosehill was one, yes.
Well, mine was too,
Yeah.
and parking, that, one last thing, parking. No, that ain't one, I got one more after that. Parking. We need to keep working on parking. I mean, tell you folks, we gotta have more parking. So we gotta look for places that we can do what we did with that other little area. If nothing else, find some more land that we can lease. If nothing else, just like the one across the street here from the church. See if we can lease it and have parking. The other thing is, real quick, about the Music Fest this past weekend. Yeah, I'll tell you that, I want to brag on the Recreation Department and the other departments that hit, the Police Department, the Fire Department. They did an outstanding job. And I'm telling you, that was one of the better put together that I've seen in a long time. And most of it was through the Recreation Department and their staff that did it. They worked hard and have it set up. And also tell people, citizens, we got 2 emails about fireworks, giving us HELL about fireworks from citizens, that we fired fireworks off at the Music Fest. They just could not understand why we do such a sorry thing. And, and they said, Winter Garden don't do it. Yeah, they do. They do it at July the 4th. They just don't do it when we do it. So just to let you know, there is some people that don't like fireworks. So, but that was a beautiful set of fireworks, one of the prettiest I think we've ever had. And thanks for everybody's participation. If you did participate, it was a great weekend. So we'll be back. We'll see. Next meeting's when? May the 2nd? Is it the 2nd? Huh? May 7th? Ooh, May the 7th. Everybody have a good evening.